The story starts with a fight between our protagonist and the Demon King. At his castle, Demon King orders his soldiers to kill the intruder. The intruder, who is our protagonist, also starts his attack by using various of his skills and kills them one by one. Most of the Demon King's army is finished, so Demon King himself come down to fight him. He is stronger than our protagonist imagined. A protagonist attacks him, but he uses a barrier which absorbs all the attacks of him, so he's thinking of destroying the dark stone on the forehead of Demon King. That is the only thing that can receive damage. Demon King attacks him with his most powerful attack, and he got a hit, but he also summoned his most powerful weapon, and attacks the Demon King. Attack from his weapon broke the shield of Demon King, and then he uses his most fierce attack, damaging the Demon King critically, and he then ends the battle with a shot to his head. And then a message appears on the screen that the game is cleared. We see a computer screen that our protagonist was playing on, thinking how amazing the magic works. Now he is thinking of choosing a different character for the new updated version of the game, and it will be the mage. But a normal mage character would probably be boring, so he will make a mage through World's Karma system. It's a system under which you receive penalties in exchange for benefits. Because of the risk it holds, most don't use it. So he put all the penalties on his character to gain the most powerful one. He can make the ultimate mage, but he will be super sick. But it doesn't matter because it's just a game character. As soon as the loading screen ended, black light loadout, he lost consciousness in the powerful gravitation. It was as if he was being sucked inside. But suddenly he hears a sound saying wake up and referring to him as Lennox. When he just opened his eyes, he got punched by a person. He became the weak character that he created. The director orders him to hurry and run to the port's assembly room, and everyone is making fun of him. He is working in a factory. After all that work, he just gets a bowl of rice porridge which is almost uneatable. When he tries to ask something to the others, they just ignores him. He is thinking that with a body this weak he won't be able to last more than a few days in a place like this. Suddenly director comes again and orders Lennox, but his condition is worsening. They are also thinking that he will die soon, and now he is thinking that his body has several disadvantages. But on the other side, its magic talent will be unimaginable if he can just manage to bring out that ability. He would be able to escape from this place. So he moves out of the room and hears some noises, and Lennox hears some crazy words like black magic, and concludes that magic does exist in this world after all. And then one of the guy introduces an enhancer called Viper. It has mana in it. While the person activates the Viper, Lennox suddenly feels a surge of energy. A shock rang, as if something had exploded inside his body. That was the sixth sense, which exceeds all the rest over the third eye, his older ego. He grasped a new sense that he wasn't aware of until just now. He returns to his sleeping place and is observing his magic. With this amount of magic, he might just be able to escape. He will escape in 2 days. To avoid any tension and move alone, he used a supplier method to light on the surface of his skin, and when he uses it he gets a fever. On the next day, an errand bought the director some vipers, and the director is insisting of having him one too. So he takes it, and the manager also says to him that the guy who was bobbling earlier will die soon. So director orders him to take care of him. On the next day, the alarm rings and everybody wakes up, but excluding Lennox. As he used that magic earlier, he is ill with fever. Everybody thinks that he will die soon. So the person who received that Viper comes and check Lennox. That person gave the Viper to Lennox and says that it's a cheap one, but it will be enough for the road that he have ahead of him. Lennox is confused but uses the Viper anyways. He is feeling the sudden increase of energy in his body, so he changes his plan of escape. He begins his plan, thinking that he might be able to do something if he will be the errand to the director's office, taking the Viper as an excuse. And he was right. The key manager quickly agrees with him to open the director's office when he hears Viper. When that guy opened the door, Lennox suddenly attacks him with lightning attack from behind and knocks him. He then takes the keys and starts searching the room. He found a gun and also found the box that contains the Vipers. But suddenly the director comes. Lennox hides behind the door. When director enters his office, Lennox attacks him, but the director dodges it and is also shocked that Lennox can use magic. But Lennox's magic power is not enough to unleash another attack. When the director attacks him, he uses the gun he found to scare the director. The director suddenly stops and asks Lennox to not fire and forgive him for everything he has done to him. Another guy was on his way to the office, so director says to him to use the door so he can escape. But Lennox kills him and take the keys with him, and he takes a car and move towards the exit. He uses the gun again to force the gate open, to avoid any unnecessary situations. He also kills the gatekeeper. His high mental strength, his level-headedness, and his rationality suppresses his guilt and fear, and allows him to maintain his sanity. So he exits through the door and finds that there is one more gate. But it was not a wall, so he breaks it with the car and escapes that prison. He enters the magic engineering city, Vulcan. He is also surprised at how different this world is from the world 2.0, and everything has a little mana mixed into it. First, he needs a place to rest, so he finds a hotel nearby and buys a room in it. No one chased after him, and he also threw the car away. He is exhausted and he falls on the ground, getting unconscious. After some time he wakes up and feels like his head is going to split open. All his muscles hurt like they're about to be ripped apart. Could this be the Viper stimulant side effect? Even so, he wants to move his body, so he have no choice but to rely on stimulants for now. In the meantime, he receives a phone call that his checkout time is ending soon, and to extend it, he needs to pay more. After paying the hotel, he will be left with only 10,000 cells, so he need to earn some money. He first cut his hairs and thinks that no one will be able to recognize him now, and it would be impossible to earn money illegally, as he is an illegal visitor. He doesn't even have an identity, so he thinks it will be better to be the criminals and take their money, and that won't causing any problems in the future. So he gathers mana in his ears and starts to hear some voices. He heard many voices but focuses on a voice that says about some stolen money. When he stands up and starts to move, he suddenly felt some exhaustion and takes a Viper and moves to the place where he heard that voice. There were two guys beating one person and asking him where is the money. He said that lost it. So they were about to kill him, but Lennox comes and attacks them. He knocks them both in a single attack by using his magic. He searches them and finds 700,000 cell and also finds an illegal weapon known as Dyke's laser cutter. He was also about to kill the third guy to prevent any problems, but that guy asks him if Lennox wants anything instead of killing him. Lennox asks if he can do something without identification. He replies it will be better if it's something that uses magic. And that person also tells Lennox about a bar, so Lennox reaches that place. First he changes his face with magic. He then goes and orders a light drink. While the bartender was pouring the drink, Lennox says he wants some work, and if there's anything that needs a mage. A woman comes out of the room. The bartender tells the situation to her. She introduces herself as Jenny, and Lennox introduces himself with a fake name, Van. Jenny says she won't find it amusing if he called himself a mage if he have only learnt some low magic. While she was talking, Lennox shows his lightning magic to her, as lightning magic was not common. She immediately agrees for a contract. It's bounty hunter work, she says. His first target will be a person known as Taylor Evans. There was a point that said they collected blood sample, so he asks for the blood sample. But she says if he's thinking about using a blood mage to catch him, it will be useless, as they ask for 5 million cell, and his reward will be 3 million cell. So he moves outside and takes the blood sample out and uses his magic, thinking that he don't need a blood mage, as he can use magic from the earlier world 2.0. So he uses a magic spell known as Bloody Chase, and there appears a serpent made up of blood. The blood serpent finds the person. The person stands up and start running. Lennox is already tired, so he uses a long-range attack which he developed in the earlier world known as Soundwave. Evan's ears burst with this magic. But suddenly a bullet hit him, but it was blocked by his shield which he put earlier to prevent any mishappenings. He uses HS search magic for the sniper, but it was nowhere to be found. So thinking about the position of the bullet that hit him, he concludes that the bullet was not for him but for Taylor Evans. So Lennox kills Evans with his gun, as he also want to make his name as Van, to be a cruel and cold-blooded human so that less people will want to get in his way. He certainly found the location of the sniper, so he uses his lightning magic that is suitable for the range of 1 kilometer, and a lightning bolt struck on him from the clouds. When he reached that place, the sniper was already missing, but he thinks it was enough for a warning, and that was definitely more than enough for the lightning mage Van's name to be made known. Lennox then brings the dead body to the bar and hands it to the bartender. The bartender and the woman are surprised that he did it so quickly. She wonders what kind of talents does he have. So in order to hide them, he says he just got lucky. Lennox then leaves. Bartender finds a clip of his mission and shows it to that woman. She is surprised that he can handle such powerful attacks. Lennox then goes to the Vulcan City Library to find out about the magic system of this world, and he must also find ways to increase the lifespan of Lennox, whose life is burning away like a candle melting because of the karma system. So he thinks of time-related magic. There could be a solution within the highest-ranked unique magic. He gathers some books and started reading them. He finds an interesting thing known as mana pattern, and he concludes that he is pretty talented in this. After reading them, he finds out that the concept of common magic that he knew about has completely disappeared. In the earlier world, magic was categorized into two larger categories: unique magic and common magic. Unique magic is a single type of magic that each mage can learn, which is more specialized and powerful. On the other hand, common magic isn't that deep or powerful, but it has an overwhelming wide variation of application, regardless of attributes or its target. This was the case of World 2.0, but in this world, there has been no mention of common magic, though he have even more questions now. And he also didn't find any time-related unique magic either. But suddenly a woman approaches him and says to him if he wished to become a mage, hope will only cause suffering and pain. She also says that she feels sad for him as he's been reading books for the whole day that won't make him a mage. She says to him that he can only learn magic by going into a school or university if he can find a teacher, but he can't enter university without any foundations, and even if you get in by luck, you won't gain anything from the lectures. There's nothing he can do if he is by himself. She then says to leave as it's past the closing time. But Lennox replies to her that if she is giving him advice from her own experience. He also asks that if she is a student, it is too early to give up yet. Instead of giving up on herself, isn't it better to try everything she can first? She says that it's ridiculous and gives him her card, and also says that if he come back next time she will show him some magic. When Lennox sees her card, he finds out that she is a professor at an university. He can't believe that she is a professor as she was so young. He is going to buy some groceries now, and he is thinking that he will have to cook something nutritious himself. When he was roaming around the market, a police officer a few meters away from him was scanning mana patterns to find if they have convicted any crimes. And then a girl asks him if he had done something wrong because he was glancing at the mana pattern check as if he were guilty of a crime. He says that it isn't the case, as he is just out to buy some vegetables, and to his surprise she was the owner of the vegetable shop that he was in front of. He thinks that she is pretty, not that it matters. She suggests him a type of onion that's good for insomnia, so he places order, and when everything was finished, she said to him that his mana is pretty unique. Suddenly she became serious, asking him what a mage like him is doing here. She also asks him if he is new in Vulcan City. Lennox gets shocked, wondering who is this woman. Not only she realizes that he is a mage, but she is also casually talking about his mana pattern. But she gives him the vegetables and says that it's 32,000 cell. So he moves out, thinking about her, how she was able to read his mana pattern with her bare eyes. After that day, he spent days in his room researching magic, in order to improve the efficiency of the common magic he already knew. But he still wasn't able to find a clue regarding inherent magic, and his body didn't get better, as he had to depend on drugs for the time being. He needed a proper identity and enough money to get better drugs. That's it for today, guys. Comment part 2 if you want the next part. And don't forget to check out other amazing recaps. Subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.